Hello and welcome to all you astrology friends out there. This is a very short video, for this week. Recording this on the 5th of March, and the astrology aspect that I'm going to explain is starting right now, as from the 5th up until, you could say, approximately the 12th of March, but you will feel it a little bit more throughout the whole month of March. So you could say now is the peak, and it's all about Jupiter conjunct Chiron, and I'm going to explain what this is all about, and I'm going to explain for each and every sign where we find this energy and how we can proceed here. Now, first of all, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It's the ruler of Pisces, the ancient ruler, and the ruler of Sagittarius. And it's around about 13 to 14 degrees of Aries, this Jupiter, the first sign of the zodiac. And Jupiter is all about expansion, and it wants to know, it wants to find meaning and purpose. When we find this planet approaching Chiron, which is now at the moment around and about 14 degrees of Aries, when they make a conjunction, it's a very significant aspect. It's a tremendous invitation of healing the pain, as in the song of, what's the song of George Michael? Heal the pain. I can't sing it. I'm not going to sing it. But definitely that is the subject of this week. It's heal the pain. And let me tell you a little bit what Chiron is all about. Now, first of all, this Jupiter in Aries, so this expansion and so on, when it is in Aries, it's all about impulsiveness. It's all about enthusiasm. It's all about, I'm not going to think, I'm going to do, because it's an Aries ruled sign. And it really wants to be courageous. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer. And you could talk days about Chiron. I certainly can. I made a series, a playlist of videos of Chiron with the moon, Chiron with the sun, and so on. I put the link below and at the end of the video if you're interested in this asteroid. But Chiron is all about healing, and it's all about teaching, and it's all about giving purpose to the teaching that is associated also with healing. So we all are, you could say, wounded. We all have our wounds when we come here, and that is significant. You can see that in a natal chart where the position of Chiron is. And for instance, if you would see in a natal chart Chiron in Aries, as it is now, you could say that the wounding is with the self, with the appearance of the self. So I mean the physical appearance, but very much about, if I want to be seen for who I am, not for what I'm doing, not for what I'm standing for, but for truly who I am, there is this wounding that I feel. That is someone who's getting incarnated with the Chiron in Aries. And so if you have that, and in particular, if we have it now all as a transit, it's all about healing that wound. It's all about, and how can you heal? You definitely go through the pain. It's definitely a process of not putting your head in the sand, but seeing it for what it is, and going through it, and being that vulnerable, in that vulnerable state of, look, this is the wounding. But in Aries, it's all about, you show that vulnerability. Like, for instance, you're in a discussion, and you say what you truly feel, and you know that people are going to not like it, for instance, but you're doing it anyway, because it's that Aries energy of going through the pain, and then it's not so hard anymore. It is, then the healing process occurs. And so when Jupiter is getting together with that Chiron, it's definitely a purpose when you start that healing process, because otherwise it will backfire. Otherwise, they say hurt people hurt. Yes, when hurt people, you could say we are all hurt, but when it's still in a way of damage, in a way of it isn't healed yet, it isn't faced yet, it isn't acknowledged and then accepted in a way, not liking it, that that wound is there, but accepting it, that it goes in a different way. It goes the path of healing, and it goes a path of wisdom. And in Aries, it's very, very, you could say, enthusiastic and very optimistic that these two, when a child would be born with these two together, you would definitely look at a chart of a healer. You would definitely look at someone who's very, very sensitive towards the pains of others, because they recognize it in themselves. And they work with it by, you could say, working with the pain of others, and they kind of heal themselves. It's a bit of a selfish thing, but that is exactly what Aries wants us to be. You know, it's the nurse, for instance, that is, you know, everyone at the outside sees, oh, she's doing this for other people. She is so, sacrificial, you know, but no, it's not. It's to give her that, or him, that identity of, I'm meaningful, I have a purpose here, because my suffering wasn't for nothing. I've suffered for this and that, but because I can be there for someone who is suffering too, and I can connect, then it becomes lighter. You know, shared pain is always lighter than that you have to carry it along with just you, which is what Aries is all about. And there comes the healing. So this is a very beautiful aspect. And but its ruler, which is Mars, so we have this Jupiter and Chiron together, this opportunity for healing, or at least starting that process. But it is ruled by Mars, so it is connected to the doing or the not doing. And this Mars is in a square with Neptune. Remember, all the other last videos I did was a lot about this Mars square Neptune, where we have to be aware of our intention, that we have to be aware that if we're going to do sneaky stuff, or we're going to do, you know, manipulating others, or just hiding the truth, or lying, or whatever, it's going to backfire. And that is what this pain is all about as well. You can say, of course, to someone, you don't have to lie, but there is a reason why people lie or why people do sneakiness, because they want to protect themselves. And now it's like, you know, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to risk that other people are going to not like it, whether they're going to leave me, whether they're going to, and then that wounding comes up of, hey, I'm not seen for who I am. But it's still by, hey, I am seeing me. Because that's the whole thing about Chiron in Aries. It's about no one needs to see you actually to give you a meaning and a purpose for being on planet Earth. It's you seeing you with the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's the whole story about Chiron with Jupiter in Aries. So what a significant week this is, that we can tap into something that is bigger than us, and that we are all a part of, and we are all connected in this. And so very beautiful process, but we have to take it with knowledge, and we have to take it with when we are vulnerable, and when we feel almost like attacked, that we're not going into the defense mechanism, because the pitfall of Aries is, hey, I'm going to fight here. And but it is standing your ground. And it's like, when you always say yes, for instance, to someone because you have the deep fear of abandonment and they not liking you, and you start saying no to them, that fear will come up. And that is the pain that I'm talking about. It's that fear, that initial fear of the self, which is all about Aries. And Aries is a very courageous sign, but it doesn't mean to say that it's never going to be fearful. Not at all. It feels the fear almost in a visceral way, but it's about not reacting. It's about responding, and it's about saying, hey, but this is where I stand now, and I can't do this. No, I can't maybe it's to your boss, you know, you have this in the 10th house of work, and maybe you're saying no to your boss, and, you know, like, oh, they're not going to see me anymore. I'm going to risk my job and this and that, or at least I'm going to be uncomfortable here. And it's almost like a physical uncomfortability. But once you go through it, and you're not running, you're not fighting, you're not in those fight-flight responses, then it heals and you become stronger. Guess what? That is what it's all about. This Jupiter conjunct Chiron. It's about getting stronger. And it's about, hey, I'm still here. I love me. And yeah, the good ones that are going to be like me with healthy boundaries and healthy, you could say, healthy ways of doing, which is Mars. Being assertive, not arrogant, and not a doormat. Well, guess what? I'm gonna attract the same people. So that is in a nutshell what this is all about. But I don't want to make this video too long. But let's have a look at what this is all about for each and single sign. So for Aries people, of course, it's in your first house. So this whole introduction was exactly for you. This is all about you. This is all about you healing you. And this Mars is in your third house. So how you're doing it is through your communication. So make sure that the communication, your actions that you take when it comes to your communication, that they are very, very clear as you can. And you will be fine. You will have a huge opportunity to heal and to find a lot of meaning. So go for it. Go for it, dear Aries people. Taurians, this is in your 12th house. So this is all about your patterns. This is all about the hidden patterns for yourself. This is all about deep healing stuff of deep psychological family patterns. So investigate what was going on when you're struggling with things over and over again. And it's always the same and the same and the same. Investigate deeply about your self-worth, because that is where Mars is. Look where that is coming from and investigate those patterns of your parents and the parents before those parents and how they dealt with it and how you can, by your insight now, because that is what it's all about for you Taurians. It's about insight in the hidden patterns that are actually writing your life, so to speak, and how you can change them. Geminis, this is happening in your 11th house. So this Jupiter Chiron is all through friendships and through groups, associations, your goals for the future, your income when you have a business of your own. There is something very healing there. So it could be a friend that is offering you that, some sort of a protection, some sort of a mentor function for you, or you being that for them. But definitely there is someone that you can connect on a very deep level when it comes to that healing. Also when it comes to your goals, because this Mars is in your sign. Remember, Mars is still in Gemini. So it's all about how you act, how you respond. Cancerians, this is your work, your career, your how you profile yourself in the world. If you say, I don't work, how other people view you, what your contribution is to planet Earth. There is something healing there. So you could be doing something that has to do with giving, you could say, offering knowledge, offering healing to others. Because the pain that you've been through, how you can be understanding to people that are going through the same thing. And it is related to work. And if it's not work, it is related to what you can contribute to society, basically. And it could also be a parent is going through that phase of healing. But this Mars is in the 12th house, remember? So the self-undoing, you have to be very careful of recognizing that you're not putting yourself down, that you're not sabotaging. Leos, this is happening in your 9th house. This is for you very beautiful because Leo and Aries goes well together. They're both fire signs. So this is a very beautiful aspect of knowledge and gathering understanding on such a deep level. I mean, on a helicopter level, on a level of you're like a bird and you see all the situations out there, because when you're in the midst of a situation, you don't have an overview. But now you have like some sort of an overview of your life. And that is very healing. And although it might not be always the best what you see there, you understand it. And that understanding connects to you more with everything that is. Call it God, call it nature, call it a higher self. You feel way more connected than ever. And you can really heal here through traveling, through your connections with people from other countries, through studies, through learning, through something that you learn, through something that you want to share with other people on a bigger platform. And this Mars is in your 11th house. So this is all about your goals and friends as well. There could be some friends where you need to be sure that the actions or your actions with your friends are very clear, and as clear as you can. Virgos, this is happening in your 8th house. This is deep. This is a psychological healing on a very, very deep level, on the level of intimacy, of being vulnerable and seeing that if you're being vulnerable to the right person, which is with discernment that you reach that, you're not going to be vulnerable to everyone, but to the people that are worth it, that or you at least think that when you're going to be vulnerable, they're not going to abuse this. Then this is true healing. This is true intimacy, body, mind, and soul, sexual unity, or together with emotional unity, you could say, and mental unity and understanding each other without words almost. And that is very healing. That is very beautiful for the Virgo. So there could be a specific person who is in this process with you of your deeper understanding, of your deep psychological understanding, you could say. Mars is in your 10th house, so in some way could be connected to your work as well, and how you take actions with this work, how you try to be creative as much as possible. Librans, of course, this is your relationship. There is definitely someone there, even for the single ones. So single or in a relationship, there is a possibility of healing. There is a possibility of one particular person that has a purpose now at this very moment, and that is very healing through the connection already that both of you have. And there could be like they being some sort of an example for you, or they are going through some sort of pain that is, of course, also your pain, because it's a mirror. And this Mars is in your 9th house, so you could be traveling, you could be learning, teaching, understanding something that is very, very, you could say, connected to the divine and to the higher self, and to wanting to grow through a person and wanting to work on yourself, and vice versa, because it takes two to tango. If just one person wants to work on themselves, it's not going to work in a connection. Scorpios, your 6th house. So this is all about your day-to-day life, your routines, your work, your health. There is something that is very healing. There is a possibility of something new here. It's Aries, of a new insight. If you're having a problem with your health, for instance, there could be some new openings here, a new understanding. And this Mars is in your 8th house. So you're not afraid to have a psychological understanding of the deeper, you could say, what's beneath the surface and what's going on there. You could say the surface could be an illness, or it could be something that you're dealing with at this particular time. And it comes up and you're understanding it more. But it definitely has to do also with work or day-to-day work, where there could be just more purpose, more enthusiasm, and more understanding. And it gives you a very, very enthusiastic feeling. And Scorpios are very passionate, so they need to have something that they're passionate about, particularly to know that they are alive and that they have a meaning here. Sagittarians, you are just like the Leos, very favored by this fire trine. So Sagittarius goes well with Leo, and it goes well with Aries. So this is not in Leo, by the way, but Sagittarius goes well with Aries. So this energy is super, super enthusiastic energy, childlike energy when it comes to how you enjoy yourself. So enjoy yourself, have fun, do your hobbies, do sports, go out there, go to cafes, restaurants, sports that you love to do with people. It's going to be so much, it's going to give you so much meaning and purpose and enjoyment. The fifth house is the house of joy. It's the house of the heart. It is connected to Leo in the end. But so there could be a romance there starting for you when you're single. And definitely you could say this is a very enthusiastic one. It could be someone who's very Jupiterian Chiron-like, so who is a bit of a mentor for you. And if you're in a relationship, you could really start enjoying yourself by feeling childlike. And what did you love to do when you were a child, and have you forgotten to do? Even if it's like something very simple like dancing or running, or something that you truly, truly love to do, you will find so much purpose out of this. So it's really about the Sagittarians, about enjoy yourself. And especially, it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be for like hours, but just the whole week, focus on that. Capricorns, this is your fourth house. This is deep healing. I mean, the fourth house is your hidden treasure. The fourth house is the house of home, the house of your ancestors, the house of your roots, the house of your emotional well-being. So there is healing there coming up. So old wounding, old patterns, ancestral patterns could be coming up, or you understanding them better, you're feeling them. So you feel like there is vulnerability involved here, but you're showing them. You're not running away from them. And it has to do with people that are close to you, family members that can bring this up. And you're dealing with this in a total new way. And that gives you healing. And that gives you strength as well. And certainly also to how you deal with your day-to-day life and your day-to-day routines, because that is where Mars is. Aquarius, this is your third house. So this all has to do with a new mindset. I mean, you have all the opportunity to have a fresh mindset, to think in a different way, to travel, short trips, to study, to learn, to go out in your neighborhood, to do gatherings with your siblings. And that is a healing thing for you. Gatherings with your neighbors, the same, especially when these connections have been very tough and rough and putting up old wounds. It was for a purpose. It was by bringing them up, you can heal, and you don't have to hide them anymore. So Mars is in your fifth house. So be aware that when you do hobbies, when you do the things that you love to do, that you don't go over the top there with the square to Neptune. Pisceans, this is happening in your second house of self-worth, of understanding you, of seeing you, of owning your talents, of owning who you are. And this Mars is in the fourth house. So this is all about your emotions and your well-being and how you react. Family can trigger this as well, or has been triggering this. And now is the time to heal. Now is the time to find that confidence in the second house. It could definitely also mean that the efforts that you've been doing to improve your financial situation, there is like closure here and a more understanding of why these problems were there. And now you're dealing with them in a different way, in a more purposeful way. And there could be even a promotion that is coming for you here. And it is healing. You find it like, yes. And it comes like in a very enthusiastic way, you could say, a least expected way. It's very Aries-like. And but most of all, you can enjoy now that you are being you, and that you understand you, and that you're good. It's as simple as that. Having said that, thank you for watching this short but very, very informative, I hope, video about Jupiter conjunct Chiron. Enjoy this week and heal. Bye-bye.